Hello, you guys. So, continuing with our shadow work. So, I know I went into small parts and I gave some suggestions with books yesterday. And today I want to talk about where the shadow comes from sometimes. And sometimes it comes from trauma that we've had. It's anything overwhelming to the system that we acquired. It's usually in childhood. So that's why I'll always correlate it to your inner child. It's also just sometimes it's just negative patterns, negative beliefs that is a shadow in our life, and we usually pick those up in our childhood as well. And as we get older, we kind of build those beliefs in ourselves sometimes as well. Others is I found with mine are I recently found that I can be triggered by things and things that trigger you, and I think that is what I want to talk about today. And so with inner child part, you kind of when you're doing shadow work, you kind of what you do is you examine and you try to understand the broken parts of your inner child, and with triggers, we're going to go into that today. It's things that make you get defensive. You get defensive about them. You want to shut down. You want to. It kind of just gives you the stimulation. It stimulates addictive behavior. It also, the whole self-sabotage I was talking about yesterday, it has all the triggers or all those types of behaviors that trigger you to want to self-sabotage, wants you to, pick up a cigarette, or wants to pick up a drink, or, want you to shut down and say, I don't want to talk anymore. I'm done. Leave me alone. Those are just, or you just like freak out and scream. Those are types of triggers. Or you want to just, okay, I'm just going to go eat a bunch of crap because I can't deal with this right now. Those are very triggering things. I have a lot of times in your life, you will have people around you that trigger you. And the reason why those people are there, and even though you don't want them there, is to teach you to recognize that shadow that you have. I have been my whole life. My mother is a trigger for me. So think about it. My whole life, I've been triggered by her, and then am I'm triggered by her, and I'm triggered by sometimes I'm triggered. I'm still triggered by her sometimes. My kids used to trigger me. They don't anymore because I've those things I've come to peace with them. My husband used to trigger me, but he doesn't anymore either because I've come to peace with that as well. So the only things that really trigger me is my mother and a good friend of mine, and he triggers me as well. And yeah, just you got to recognize them. And I'm just gonna keep saying yeah with those because I don't know how to tell you that you're not gonna ever be triggered, because that's like saying you'll never have fear or you'll never have doubt, because you will have those things. The thing is not letting them control you or letting them get in the way of taking care of yourself or growing or expanding. Part of growth is being able to, okay, I'm triggered by whatever, and being able to not let it get to you where you have to shut down all the way, or you need to go and have a drink because you don't know how to deal with this, or you get really defensive. When you have grown, you will see that those things, even though these people might trigger you, or things might trigger you, they don't have any control over you anymore. And I think that's the beautiful thing, is the not having control over you anymore. It's a beautiful thing when it has no control over you anymore. And I don't know, when I think about it, it makes me really happy, because it's like it doesn't have control of me anymore. It's a great thing. So, so one of the practices you can use with the triggers is the mirror practice. So that person, like, I'll give you an example with my mom. It's something in my mom that I'm mirroring that I need to recognize and see. And a lot of parts of it needs love. One of the best things you can ever do to a trigger is to love it. I know. Is to love it. It is hard. It is so difficult for my mother or a friend of mine who triggers me, to go against my love. It stops them. It stops their triggers on me. It loved us. And simple as that. Just showing that simple love. That trigger will still be there, but I've already stopped it dead in its tracks with just showing it love. And actually in showing the love to my trigger inside as well. It's like, it's okay. Don't get defensive. It's okay. You don't have to run away. It's okay. You don't have to shut down. It's okay. And that's showing your self-love as well. And that's a big part of having self-love and knowing your self-worth. Is it helps with the triggers and getting them in a place where they are assimilated, or shouldn't say assimilation, okay, where I went all Star Trekky, where they are a part of you and they live with you. They're a part of you. That's just a part of you, and it's okay because that's a part of you. And it's okay to say to that person, maybe at the time, it says, I'm upset because. Why are you upset? Look in the mirror and say, when someone's triggered you, look in the mirror, you got your mirror, and you look, because they're your mirror, and see them in the mirror and see yourself as well. And you look in the mirror and you say, I'm upset because. Because what? Why? I'm upset because I don't want to be like you. That's my mother. I said it. I don't want to be like you. And it triggers me when people compare me to you, or says I look like you, or because I don't want to be like you. And there's reasons behind that, and I'm not going to go on those reasons, but I have those reasons, and I work through those, and you have to work through those as well. So you go in the mirror, you find that love for that trigger, if it's that person, or it's the mirror itself, and you see that person in it, and you have love for it, and you bring the love inside, and you work on that, and you find the love in that. So, and it helps with just overall everything, with your self-worth, with doubting yourself, with everything that builds up from things that trigger you. You have to work on that. So I always like to keep these short because I don't want to blab on. And we know what triggers are. And I hope my thing is... Oh, my question for today. Oh, I'm going to have to switch the question around because this one doesn't fit what I just talked about triggers. So my question for today will be, what do you most dislike about yourself? Really examine why. What is something you dislike about yourself? Examine why. And I actually did the first question. So yesterday I had the first question, our journal prompt, and I did do it, and I wrote a whole freaking page about it. I'm going to do the second one. What do you most dislike about yourself? Really examine why. And another suggestion for you is I'm all about the books, you know. So when I come to you with everything I have. I actually dreamed last night that I should talk about triggers. So I'm talking about triggers. So I come with you with downloads from the universe in my dreams. I get a lot of dream downloads. I come to you with books because I'm a reader and I'm a learner at heart. So I like to gravitate towards books that will help you grow and help you learn. I also have other people I listen to and podcasts and just other teachers and people who've been doing this longer than me as well. I listen to them so that I'm getting the best information and getting as much as I can to put together for these little short videos so that maybe it can help you in some way in your life. So before we go, this book right here, The 4 Agreements. I love this book. This book came to me in my 20s. Yeah, I had it in a college class. And I didn't understand it at the time, but I loved it, and I didn't understand it at the time. It came back to me 20 years later, of course, when I'm in a better place, and I do understand it. And these things, the first agreement will really help you fix the voice that was broken in you in childhood. I will just say that. So get the book and read it. And our video is going over than what I wanted it to, but that's okay. Oh, I was going to do a love oracle but I guess we will go more into, that would be good with the journal question tomorrow. So we will not do an oracle card today. Just check this book out. At least read the first agreement. Even look, if you want to look on the internet and look at the first agreement, that will help kind of piece some of those things that have been taught to you, that self-talk in your head is getting to you, that you need to correct and fix. Okay, so thank you guys for listening, and I'm sorry I went over my 10 minutes. Bye.